the story. You don't have to be a journalist.
Do you actually support what Biden has done?
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow.
Guys, my beeper's going off. Cher'dusky's a bitch. Oh.
This is giving me a very bad reputation of female comics that people already don't think are funny.
I raised millions of dollars for that campaign. I did not find out until after she lost. $2.5 million was spent on Oprah.
Opportunistic grifters like Lindy Lee, who has posited herself as someone who actually cares about American democracy. No one has to pay you. It's all about influencerdom, right?
Now you're changing your story. Don't change your story.
That was fun. Is it like that every night here?
It can be. It can be. With a single flick of his presidential wand, Joe Biden protected Hunter, his son, from ever facing federal charges for any crimes he committed or even may have committed over more than a decade. The sweeping and extraordinary breadth of this magic trick has staggered supporters and opponents alike, even casting a spell of silence over the most notable defenders of the indefensible.
I got nothing for you on that.
Can I follow up on that? Are you concerned with the lack of transparency, lack of honesty around Biden's decision to pardon?
As I said, I got nothing for you on that. Nope.
That pardoning anyone on the way out of office, family members, sets a poor precedent.
Thank you. I've got nothing for you on that.
But the question is, they talked about January 6th pardons. This is a playbook for incoming President Trump. Isn't this a problem? Did he not establish a bad precedent for pardons?
I got nothing for you on that. Any other subjects?
Never thought the day would come when Chuck Schumer had nothing for us. Nothing. But what could he say? This is the problem for the Democrats. There are no other subjects right now that anyone wants to talk about, and there will be no other subject when the outrage machine sputters into life to ransack President Trump's wave of pardons in the new year, which is inevitable. Even Gavin Newsom has broken ranks, telling Politico that he took Joe Biden at his word and cannot support the decision. In other words, he trusted him, got lied to, and feels betrayed. It's a total subjugation of the Democratic moral high ground, a rout. Just a few wearied soldiers remain, wandering listlessly across a deserted battlefield.
I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I can't stand when people say that. So if you're that shows you your moral value. So because you're a parent and you care, you want your son or daughter to suffer repercussions for whatever it is they may done. So they can be a murderer and it's okay. You will pardon them. Or you'll just, it doesn't make sense. It's just stupid to me. You'll find that's just disgusting. That's enabling terrible, disgusting, no morals, no nothing. I can't stand when I hear that from certain comments. I understand why he did it, but it's the fact that he lied. It's that too, but it's I don't get why people think like that. It's the same as another. Well, maybe it's not comparable to me, but people saying, "Oh, they died too young," or they had a lot of life to live, or it doesn't matter basically if the person's older, if they lose their life, especially in a horrific way. Younger lives are valued more. No, anybody killing somebody is completely wrong. Might not be comparable, but you get my fucking point. Wrong is wrong. Especially if you're a person of a strong moral belief background, Christian, whatever it may be, but definitely Christian, then it's you're gonna do what's right, which the God or whatever you follow. You're not gonna just protect your freaking kids because that's sick. It's wrong. Stop calling it a lie.
Okay.
No, Whoopi, it is a lie. And Biden lied and lied and lied himself. And he told his press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, to go to the White House press room and lie to the world's media again and again and again. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't something he suddenly thought of. He'd obviously always planned.
It doesn't surprise me
to do this. But Biden repeatedly and emphatically said to the world on camera he would not pardon Hunter, his son. He was the adult in the room. The last bastion of...
Everybody needs to come out of jail then. If that's the case, then apologize for talking over it. It just came to me the law is the law.
democracy and constitutional norms, the staunchest defender of a justice system that treated everybody, as he said, as equals under the law, and that nobody would be above the law, except, as it turned out, his own son. Biden lied because it's an election year and the hypocrisy is inexcusable. Yes, of course, you are the poor aforementioned Karine Jean-Pierre.
You have said repeatedly yourself since the election, the president has said for months, no pardon was coming. I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes. And if you see the end of his, I assume that you've read his statement, and you look at the end of that statement, and he actually says that in the first line in the last paragraph.
Unbelievable. Here is that last paragraph. Biden said, for my entire career, I've followed a simple principle: to tell the American people the truth. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system. But as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and led to a miscarriage of justice. There's no shortcut in journalism. If you want to cut to the actual truth, don't believe anything before the but. You can't simultaneously have faith in the justice system and believe that everyone is beholden to the law, but also believe it's corrupted and beholden to politics. Joe Biden flew 7,000 miles away from this crisis of his own making to give a speech in Angola. Luckily, it won't take him long to get home.
I'm probably the most pro-rail guy in America. I've ridden over 1,300,000 miles on a daily basis to my work, 220 miles a day for the last 50 years. Well, I didn't do it as president. I stayed in the White House a lot.
You didn't travel 1.3 million miles a day, did you, Joe Biden? It's embarrassing. This is the leader of the free world still. This is the president of the United States. As I speak, there's breaking news. Apparently he's fallen asleep during a meeting with African leaders in Angola. The Telegraph and Forbes both reporting he was visibly dozing. It's a farce. But it's worse than that, because Joe Biden presented himself as the opposite of Donald Trump, who he called a liar, a hypocrite, a shameful opportunist. We all remember what he called Trump. And then...
Question: what is the best e-commerce business to start today? Is it dropshipping from China and selling on Shopify? Long delivery time, low margins, and...
By pardoning his son and making him above the law and making him unaccountable to the law, Biden proved himself to be a liar, a hypocrite, and a shameless opportunist. I think I speak for both Democrats and Republicans when I say that January the 20th can't come soon enough. Well, join me now to discuss all this is the founder of the 1776 Project PAC, Ryan Girdusky, the streamer Destiny, the co-host of Verdict with Ted Cruz, Ben Ferguson, and host of the Bituation podcast, Francesca Fiorentini. Well, welcome to all of you. Destiny, let me start with you. You got anything, or are you taking a Chuck Schumer defense?
No, I think if a pardon is going to exist as a presidential power, I think this is the perfect time to use it.
Really? Even when you've told the world repeatedly, I'm not going to do that, and that everyone should be beholden to the law.
I think the mistake, if Biden made a mistake, it was to say that he wasn't going to do it.
You think?
Especially after seeing the nomination of people like Kash Patel, I think it is absolutely in good prudence to use it here, rather than allow Hunter Biden to be the subject of infinite investigations for the next 4 years of Trump's presidency.
You mean how the liberals put Trump through all the criminal investigations?
Well, no, because...
You're a grown adult. No amount of money and power or whatever your parents or whoever may have should excuse you for any fucking disgusting shit, illegal. Their family's disgusting. I'm not saying allegedly. I'll just say I know they're involved in all these politicians, these singers, all of it. And it's not just only because of the P. Diddy thing. I mean, everybody had to have had brains to know he was trafficking all these females and all these underground towns that's going on, this whole other world that's going on, all these missing children, most of these big establishments are in charge and have their hand in most of this stuff going on. So anyway, I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole. all of them are disgusting and screwed up for the most part. It's like 1% maybe politicians that maybe are not clean slates.
Trump has criminal immunity from the Supreme Court, and all of his federal court cases are now dismissed, and the case in New York never had a sentencing and probably won't get one. So no, that wouldn't be the same thing.
You seem very phlegmatic about all this, Destiny, when inside you must be hurting. Because what Joe Biden has done with one flick of his pen is he has taken away all the high moral ground that the Democrats could have had against Trump for the next 4 years. Because Trump can now pardon who the hell he likes. He can pardon every January the 6th protester, and he can do it in the sure knowledge that the moment people like you go, this is an outrage, how can you do this? He goes, you know what? At least they went to prison. Hunter Biden didn't do a day.
This is the two of the easiest questions in the world. Pierce, one, if he doesn't pardon Hunter, do you think that influences Trump's decisions at all and who he pardons next?
That wasn't what I said. I said
yes.
it removes your ability.
Absolutely
No,
not.
Destiny.
Number two.
It removes.
Number two.
Hang on. Let me answer number one first.
What have Democrats gotten for the moral
Come to number
high ground
two
for the last
second.
4 years?
Let me answer number one first. In answer to number one.
Yeah.
Huh? In answer to number one, my point to you was, if he does, and I'm sure he will, you on the left have absolutely no way to now play the high moral ground. Because your guy, the president, did it even worse.
What is that? What is the high moral ground? We're down a Supreme Court pick. We lost the 2000 presidency to another Supreme Court. The president now has infinite criminal immunity. What is the moral high ground? Got the
I wonder, and I am not trying to be funny at all. Like, is he on drugs? What has he? Or maybe he has some sort of condition. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a fact that he's a liberal. I don't know. When he has debates, it's like he barely listens. He's already formulating his thought before the other person is done, and he likes to go against. And even if it's something that's a point that somebody may agree with him on, he'll still try to go against it, not even trying to hear it. It's like he likes to be contrary for no reason, just to go against it. But that's all liberals, I guess.
Democrats up to this point. There's no point in engaging in norms when only one side upholds the norms. And to say you want to talk about a farce, to pretend that Donald Trump's future pardon decisions are going to be based on who Biden decides to pardon is hilariously stupid. And if you want to talk about pardons, something that you never will hear, why not talk about some of Trump's pardons? How much time do we give to the pardon of Bannon or Stone, who is pardoned for crimes that were literally related to covering up other crimes from Donald Trump? How many people care about that? Nobody. Where's the accountability for that? Nowhere.
You know
and
the
what's
difference?
the result of those investigations? They're all canceled. So
you know the difference?
I don't want to hear anything about Hunter Biden's pardon. It's a joke.
How many days in prison did Stone and Bannon and those guys do?
I'm pretty sure. Didn't Stone get clemency before he ever stepped foot in prison?
Yeah. He was sentenced to 40 months in prison, and then Trump pardoned him.
The day before, he got clemency. Also, forget Stone. Forget Stone. It's not about how much time did Stone spend in prison. It's about Donald Trump evading responsibility and culpability because Stone didn't have to testify about him. He said it publicly. He said, oh, Donald Trump, why would I squeal on the president? And then he didn't say anything to Congress. He told another witness not to. And then when he got convicted of all those crimes, Trump said, oh, I'll pardon him. So don't talk about Hunter Biden's pardon. It's an absolute joke.
But of course, the reason that Joe Biden...
When I first joined Honeybook, I was roughly making $1,500 a month. Fast forward to
Let me bring in Ben Ferguson here. The reason that Joe Biden seems to have started this wide-ranging, all-encompassing free pass for Hunter from the year that he began at Burisma, where he had no experience, to be earning $1 million a year on the board of an energy company in Ukraine when Joe Biden was the vice president, literally put in charge of American-Ukraine relationships, is that it may well cover other crimes that may have been committed in relation to that, which might have led to the big guy, as people have reported, who might end up being Joe Biden. So in a way, you know, he's providing a blanket immunity, which I know Destiny's very upset about immunity, to the Biden family here.
Yeah, look, I think Hunter Biden's pardon was much more than just Hunter Biden. Forget the corruption of Hunter Biden for a second. I think this was the pretext, and I'm going to make a prediction here, to a mass amount of pardons that are about to be coming down from this White House in the closing days of this administration, because they put together a list of people they believe have probably broken laws. They put it out there in the media over the last 24 hours, and they're justifying his brother and anybody that took money with the Biden last name, anybody that was corrupt at the FBI, anybody that was going after Donald Trump. The list, and they're trying to say that it's somehow Donald Trump's enemies list, so therefore we are justified in handing out pardons to everyone that was involved in the Biden crime family or abusing their power to go after Donald Trump. And so I don't really care that much about Hunter Biden's pardon. Of course, this was always going to happen. This is a man that abused his and exploited his own son's addiction to make the Biden family more money. They didn't give a crap about Hunter Biden. They knew they were funneling money to a drug addict, and they knew that could cost him his life. They didn't care because they wanted the money to keep coming into the Biden crime family. I actually feel sorry for Hunter Biden. I feel sorry for a guy that has a father and family members that say, we've got an alibi. He's a drug addict. We'll say that's the excuse for the crimes that we're committing and the money laundering that we're doing and all the bank accounts and all the money coming in from Romania and Ukraine and coming in from China and from Russian oligarchs. And they said, this is how we get away with it. We'll sell out America, the highest bidder, to the most corrupt people in the world, and we'll get away with it by saying, oh, he was a drug addict, he didn't know what he was doing. That is abuse of a child. It's really sad.
Okay, Francesca, you've been grimacing there, but are you grimacing because in your heart you know that Joe Biden has done a massive disservice to everybody on the left here with an act of utter selfishness?
Oh, I'm grimacing just because I was imagining Ben Ferguson and Ted Cruz putting out a joint holiday card, and I was wondering if they wear matching pajamas when they do that. Do you guys do that, Ben?
I don't understand exactly what
is it
that
holiday
has to
sweaters
deal
or
with
is
the
it
idea
pajamas?
that you have a president that abused his power and exploited his son's drug addiction, put his life at risk to make money, and you're talking about a damn Christmas card.
Oh, I was
the
just,
charges
that's
for-
why I
those
was
were a lot of
smiling. I
fantastic-
mean,
where are the
Piers was
charges for
asking me
these
why I was smiling, but in my heart of hearts, Piers, oh man, I wish I could give you just the tiniest little violin so you could strum it there in your studio talking about the death of democracy. You know why Biden pardoned his son? It was to troll you.
Because he's
it
a
was
scumbag.
to troll everybody. And you know why he didn't? He said he
didn't
wasn't
troll
going
me.
to, and then he did. Because he doesn't
didn't troll me
remember.
either. He sold out America.
He
the
didn't
highest
troll me.
bidder. Like,
What he did was he trolled his own side because you all queued up to
Thank God
defend
he's
him
not
as
going to
being
be president.
he was the good.
Thank
Remember,
God he's not going to be
in
president
all the
anymore.
debates we've had this year,
She has no valid points. I mean, that doesn't even make sense what she said. It's just like every time she's on, I still don't even know who she is. Every time she's on, it's just she tries to be a comedian and she's not funny. It's your view or even perspective or opinion, whether somebody agrees or not. It just not even. It's empty. This doesn't make sense. It sounds dumb.
he was the good guy. Trump was the liar. Trump was
Are
the
you kidding?
hypocrite.
In whose
Trump was the
mind? In
shameless
whose
guy.
mind? Your
Trump was the
mind?
nepotism guy. And then in one moment, Biden proved actually he's just as bad. He's exactly the same.
How
and
is
he will
the
weaponize.
Hunter Biden pardon? How is that
and he-
comparable?
And he
How is
will,
that comparable to Bannon or Stone?
Sorry, and the idea that he is using the idea of the justice system being weaponized against his family is laughable, given that
Thank
Biden
God he's not going to be
has
president.
helped direct
Piers.
the weaponization
Thank God
of the
you've got
justice
1
system
month left.
against Trump for
Wait,
a
you have
year.
no proof of that. What, do we just lie here? Is this just a show where we just tell lies?
Well, Joe
Where's
Biden
the part
lies.
where,
Yes,
where's the
haven't
part
you
where
been
Joe Biden directed the DOJ to do anything? Where is that?
Well, you think the entire weaponization of the American justice system against Trump in the last year, Biden had no involvement whatsoever?
Do you have proof of that?
I don't need
He's
proof of
asking
it.
you
It's
a
obvious.
I don't.
Okay, so hold on. So it's so obvious. Wait. So to be clear, it's so obvious that this DOJ is being politicized and used by Joe Biden, the same DOJ that went after his son?
Yes.
The same DOJ that appointed a special prosecutor for when Biden had classified documents? What are we even talking? Do we even know how the government works in this country? What are we talking about right
This dude. Yeah.
now?
All right, let me
That's
bring.
how they gave him a sweetheart deal. Wait, Piers, we got to go back to the fact that the only reason why he was actually prosecuted was because he was given such a ridiculous sweetheart deal that a judge actually stood up and said, "This is abuse of power. I'm not going to accept it," from Biden's Department of Justice, saying this is something I've never seen before. It is unprecedented. No, I'm not going to allow a deal for Hunter Biden that is this sweet. No, I'm stopping it. And he stood up to the Department of Justice under Joe Biden, who basically said, we can do whatever the hell we want. We can sell out as much as we want to the worst actors in the world, including Russian oligarchs who are best friends with Vladimir Putin, that gave millions of dollars to the Biden crime family, and then funneled it through shell companies with 150 plus suspicious activity reports that were reported from American banks.
Convicted of? Ben,
I'm not talking about Roger Stone. I'm talking about the President of the United States of America weaponizing the DOJ.
Okay, let's not all talk over each other. Don't talk over each other. Let me ask Francesca. Francesca, be honest with yourself, though. When you heard that Biden had done this, didn't your heart sink?
Why do you keep talking about my heart? I don't.
I care about your heart. I'm all heart myself.
Again, I'm thinking about Christmas cards here. No, but Ben keeps talking about Russian oligarchs. Do we know why Roger Stone and Paul Manafort?
Hang on, can you answer my question, please? Hang on, no, sorry. Look, I want to take this back to the old-fashioned way. We have a panel. I'm the moderator. I ask the questions. Right now, hang on, Francesca. Why are you ducking my question? Just be honest.
Sorry, I'm sorry. What are you saying? What's in my heart? My heart is he did it to troll all
y'all. I said, did your heart
because
sink when you heard he'd done it? Because you knew in that moment all the high moral ground the left have had all year with Trump, it disappears.
Absolutely not.
Really?
And if you agree, no, that's my answer, Piers.
Even when he lied repeatedly that he wouldn't do it? Even when Karine Jean-Pierre repeatedly lied that he wouldn't do it?
No.
Even when she dismissively, arrogantly put back the Fox News guys and Pete Doocy, dismiss them. How dare you keep asking me this?
Care about law and order.
No, you see, but here's my problem, Francesca. Here's my problem.
But why are you interrupting me, Piers? You're just, you ask me a question, I say no, then you have a problem with my answer? Let me explain why no, instead of keep interrupting me. Okay. The reason is that Hunter Biden has never done anything to me, right? Meanwhile, Steve Bannon defrauded the American people while fundraising for the Ben.
Honestly, I'm sick of seeing all these online business gurus tell you how you're going to get rich overnight with virtually no effort by just...
Ben, is it PJs or is it holiday sweaters? You tell me. Paul Manafort lied.
Your fantasy card.
Paul Manafort lied to the FBI. Paul Manafort lied to the FBI. Roger Stone also lied to the FBI about being a back
I'm talking about Joe Biden.
Between Piers Morgan, let me finish.
Answer my question, or I'll move on.
Stone
she won't answer the question, Piers. She doesn't know how to.
So can both
all
of you
you can do is talk about Roger Stone and Bannon. I don't care about them.
I swear to God, dude.
She goes on a tangent about nothing. It has nothing. Stop trying to be funny and all that and comedian. Just get to the point. Answer his question.
Like being on this program with Best Boy and with Dingleberry over here on the Trump administration. That's you, Piers. You've reached your final form.
Dingleberry?
That's just one of the little dingleberries in Trump's diaper. You're right there. And it's so sad for you, Piers, because now that Trump won re-election, he's definitely never going to do your program. And that sucks so hard. Like, doesn't that make you so sad?
You know what makes me laugh about people like you, Francesca? Is that
you're not even going to get invited to Mar-a-Lago.
Francesca, actually, I was yesterday. It doesn't matter. And I will get an interview with Trump, probably at the White House. And when I do, I'll invite you. You can come and meet him.
No, thanks, my guy.
No, you want to do that? Let me bring in Ryan here. Look.
Ryan.
Yeah, it seems to me that the Democrats, liberals generally, have gone into a weird kind of collective anaphylactic shock, which has now been massively exacerbated by what Biden's done. Because the truth is they cannot handle the fact that this guy they spent all year calling a fascist, a Nazi, the new Hitler, the biggest bigot in the world, blah, 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 has won literally across the board everything. It's set them all slightly nuts. And people like me who basically are in the middle. I'm a kind of centrist, slightly liberal guy, right? I'm not a Trump dingleberry. I've just warned the liberals for years this was going to happen. And now it's happened. They want to blame me. And I'm like, I did try and tell you.
Right. I mean, if you look at the Trump victory overall, there's a wide range of why he lost, from woke culture to racism, misogyny. I mean, it runs the gamut. But what's really interesting about this pardon is what Biden is saying in the pardon versus what Democrats who are supporting Biden and protecting Biden or making excuses for him are two entirely different things. Biden is saying that what Trump has said for years is true, that there is politicization inside the Justice Department. And that is a damning account, because politicization in the Justice Department was completely a partisan issue. Democrats for 4 years said it wasn't happening. Republicans said it was happening. And here's the Democratic president saying, no, it happened, but it happened against my son. I think that the scope, I don't, listen, if he would have said, I love my son, it's my only surviving child from my first marriage, I honestly don't know many Americans who would disagree with him. I would feel sympathy for it, but that's not what he said. And the scope and the length into which he has given this pardon, 11 years for for everything. It is a full pardon for anything. It draws the question, what else was he doing? There was $24 million from foreign countries, including adversaries, through 20 shell companies. There's probably more. There was the issues of Hunter receiving millions of dollars in free legal services, in representation. There were probably appointments. And where does it end?
Okay, Destiny, here's the problem. Not a problem.
I'm just curious. Because I don't know all the time. Do the people who cover politics, are these like actual news people? Like, what is the background here on this show?
What's your point?
When you have people talking about like the Democrats have never said.
Just go look at his laptop. He gave you all the info. Hunter's laptop tells you the story. You don't have to be a journalist to read the story.
Where are the charges? Hey, where are the charges? Ben, where are the charges? They've been investigating Hunter Biden for 4 years. Where are the charges? I thought we were going to get impeachment charges from Jim Jordan. Where are the charges?
Dude, San Francisco, whatever her name is, she seems like she's very immature. Like, really immature. Like, just down to, like, the word stupidity, like, just immature. And she has no foundation when she gives her point of view and she's debating.
Just for Hunter Biden.
It's a great question. I can answer that because I actually read it.
Which they looked into Hunter Biden was very narrow.
The DOJ made sure that the statute of limitations on the worst crimes that dealt with the tax issues were outside the statute of limitations. So if you go talk to a lawyer, they'll explain what that means to you. But the DOJ
I don't need to talk to the lawyer. I've read the documents. Thank you. I'm not illiterate.
You asked the question. You asked the question. You said, where are the journalists?
You just made things that sounded like FARA violations. You're telling me the FARA violations of him illegally accepting foreign money, of him taking bribes and having money go through the statute of limitations?
Don't talk over each other, please.
I'm going to finish it again. He never registered as a foreign agent, and the statute of limitations that ran out on that for what was going on. He never dealt with the tax issues and didn't have to, because we know deliberately that they purposely slow played to make sure that the worst crimes were going, and the DOJ did this. The timeline is clear. They would expire, so they couldn't charge him with those crimes. The reality is the reason why the Biden administration is now having to go back and say who else needs a damn pardon is because there was people abusing their power to make sure that the only two crimes that they charged Hunter Biden with could not be connected to the big guy. The gun charge didn't connect the big guy to any actual crime. And that's a fact. And the tax charges where they did charge him dealt outside of any of the money coming in from the money laundering. So the Department of Justice ran interference and said, we'll make sure we investigate this. Oh, crap. The statute of limitations ran out. Even if we wanted to charge him, we couldn't charge him with the crimes. And that's why the White House is saying, holy crap, who the hell needs another pardon here? It's that simple.
Okay.
And go read the laptop.
Easy question for you then, right? So the reason why Mueller was appointed was because an actual obstruction of justice was Donald Trump firing Comey to try to stop the investigation into his illegal activity.
You have the right
so
to
I'm
fire
curious,
who you
can
want
you
to
tell
fire when
me
you become
what was
the
the
president?
equivalent action? What was the equivalent action on the White House and their influence on the DOJ? Give me the equivalent action. Where is the intrusion of Biden into the DOJ?
All right, I'll answer the question simply. If you understand presidential powers, you would understand that you serve at the pleasure of the president, and the president had the right to fire James Comey whenever he wanted to, and he should have done it day one, but he went against his advisors when he did that. James Comey, by the way, laughed on TV about sending in FBI agents because the Trump administration was too trusting, too new, and too green to Washington to go after General Flynn to try to get dirt on Donald Trump.
You have
he
nothing.
laughed
You're
about
lying.
it on
you have
stage.
You have nothing. Flynn lied to the FBI.
On stage.
There
That's
is
the
no
guy that you
equivalent.
want to defend
Donald
right now?
Trump's
Are you kidding
meddling
me?
in the DOJ. There is no equivalent to that on the Biden White House, which is why what you just said was a bunch of nonsense.
Then why
You
are
serve
they
at the
talking
pleasure
about
of
giving
It
pardons
was
out to
nonsense,
so
although
many
the Supreme
people?
Court has now
Hold
made
on,
that
then
criminal
answer me
activity
this question.
legal.
Hang on.
Answer this question then.
Hang on. Destiny, you say that the Biden administration has done nothing to meddle with the DOJ. He has literally pardoned his son, who's been convicted of criminal offenses. That is.
Why did you just say bingo? What do you think a pardon is? How is a pardon meddling in the DOJ?
You don't think it's meddling with justice?
Because the DOJ and the judge even said yesterday that this was the most despicable abuse of power. Go listen to what the judge said. He was not a conservative judge who wrote a scathing rebuke of the Biden administration's abuse of power after there had been a conviction for his son. Go read what the judge wrote, and you might understand.
I'm sorry.
Wow,
Do you
this
think
is a bad
that when does a
precedent.
pardon happen if not after a conviction? What do you think a pardon is for? Is every single pardon?
Destiny.
Please, let me say this. If it's this is the part where you need to listen to what you're saying. No, listen to what you're saying. You just said that you only give a pardon when someone's been convicted. If that was true, they wouldn't have just given a 10-year absolute pardon to Hunter Biden for a bunch of crimes he committed in case he is actually investigated for the damn crime.
The whole point of issuing that pardon is to make it so that you guys can't spend the next 4 years playing Hillary's emails with Hunter Biden. That's the whole point. Because that's what you guys do. Like you tried with Hillary, like you tried with Benghazi and failed over and over and over again with all these bullshit investigations. You do like you've done now with Hunter Biden. Like you did with Ted Starr and Bill Clinton.
Hang on. Destiny, to be clear.
Destiny. Destiny
charges
Joe Biden and has nothing. But here you are speaking
calm down.
The same lies about the Biden crime family.
Destiny, hang on, please. Can I get involved here? Destiny, a question for you, which is Gavin Newsom, who was one of the most vocal supporters of Biden, even when everyone else was chucking him under a bus. Even he has come out and said he cannot support this decision. Do you actually support what Biden has done? Do you support
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow. So actually, in the end, you do support lying, hypocrisy, and shamelessness, and obstructing justice. You support all those things.
No. What the part of Hunter Biden is a trillionth of what Donald Trump, it's not even close.
And if Trump had done this, to Donald Trump Jr., you'd have said the complete opposite. Anyway, look, let me segue to...
In Donald Trump's administration, after the traitors, over here that support Donald Trump tried to overthrow the government in 2020, after they tried to overthrow the government and failed, people like Eastman and Giuliani were asking to be put on the pardon list.
All right.
Okay?
They were. Okay.
Let me... involved in the J6 attack. And guess what? When he does, Piers, you're going to have a 20-minute segment on it, and you're going to move on to see if you can dig up something else about Biden's or Kamala Harris.
No, I will go
on. I just think it's sad because you guys are all just jealous that he's massively endowed, and so is his
Sorry,
hang on.
Francesca, sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, I mean, the only crime, I guess, in Ben's eyes that Hunter Biden really committed was showing just how well endowed the Biden family is. And I can see from Ben's perspective how that, might feel like, a crime against him and his
defending a man that abused women, like as a woman, you should at least understand that there were women that were abused sexually.
Women? I don't think so.
I would say yes.
Were they 17 and trafficked over state lines?
Nah, when you're trafficking women and getting them addicted to drugs, yeah, that's abusing women.
Liberals are sick. She is immature and sick in the head.
You want to say that that's good? That's on you.
Look, here's the difference between the pardons between Trump and Joe Biden, right? Number one, Joe does this to y'all, and so you have something to talk about. But number two, the people that Donald Trump pardoned, not only included everyone who allowed and helped him to back channel with the Russian government in the 2016 campaign, like Paul Manafort, like Roger Stone.
We're back to Russia collusion.
They didn't even get in trouble.
Are we really back to Russia collusion? One of the great.
We're
back to Russia collusion, which was one of the great lies
Jared Kushner's
of
father,
that whole
Charles
period.
Kushner. Charles Kushner is now going to be the ambassador to France. He also pardoned the Blackwater
this is why we won,
employees who murdered 14 unarmed Iraqi civilians that we know about thanks to Chelsea Manning whistleblowing, right, and to WikiLeaks. He pardoned those monsters. He's pardoned a lot of people, and so those people arguably have had more impact on my life than Hunter Biden and his laptop and $1.4 million in tax evasion. Piers, you know you do that like on a Tuesday. Come on. Wait, hang on. Guys, my beeper's going off. Cherudusky's a bitch. Oh. Cherudusky, I think this is for you.
Is this like a comic? This is giving me a very bad reputation of female comics, and people already don't think are funny. I don't know. I think the problem right now.
Except I just owned your ass. But you look really cute in your sweater.
You didn't. You made a very lame joke that was like 3 weeks old. Congratulations. You're very funny.
I thought you were making
the problem right now with the Biden.
Tell me about your joke again.
Sorry, Destiny?
Okay.
Will the two MAGA people here, will you guys defend when Donald Trump pardons the January 6th rioters or anybody that was convicted in connection to the January 6th stuff? If he goes for the seditious conspiracy people, will you defend that pardon?
Ryan?
I've said this before. I'll say it again.
Well, let me bring Ryan in. Hang on. Let me bring Ryan in on that one.
I think with the January 6th, you're talking about several hundred, if not several thousand people. And I think the question is I don't think that he should pardon anyone who did something violent. I don't think that an attack, but I do think that when you look at the sentencing and how some January 6th people have been treated is remarkable, considering some people have solitary confinement for months on end.
And there's some people in there that didn't even do anything. So it's kind of messed up. No, it's really messed up.
People are treated much worse doing a January 6th stuff than a murderer. So I do think that depending on what they are accused of and what they have been tried on, I think a pardon could be warranted. I don't think that anyone who violently attacks somebody should be pardoned, though.
Right.
So if they go to pardon the people convicted of seditious conspiracy that weren't involved in direct violent activity, you would support those pardons?
I'd have to see the individual case. I don't really know. Particularly, it's not my beat.
You don't know about
stuff.
seditious conspiracy charges. Some of the first in decades. It's unbelievable.
I just said I'd have to look. I just said I'd have to look at them individually.
On the Hunter Biden pardon, and they don't even know.
What a great idea.
Was convicted
Read about the individual cases.
I have no idea.
Before you decide.
I'll tell you what. Let Ben answer Destiny's question.
Yeah, I'll go back to this. If you look at each and every case, and you look at how they were throwing the book at everybody, there are different people that did different things. If you attacked a police officer, you deserve to be in jail for that. If you're an 87-year-old grandmother that was walking around outside the Capitol and they hunted them down and put them in jail and they didn't do anything violent, you do not deserve to be in jail for that, even if you're charged with the word seditious in any of the complaints. There are different cases and different people, and there was clear abuse of power where they walked in, they said, anyone that we got that day or anyone we have on video, even if they were nonviolent, even if they weren't doing anything, even if police officers let them into the Capitol on video, they overcharged them, and there are many people that deserve to be pardoned. If you attacked a police officer, if you broke through a door, if you were doing things like that, you absolutely deserve to be in jail for that. And it goes back to an idea. You look at each case individually and you decide based on each case individually before you do a pardon. That's what I'm in favor of. It's not insane to say I would want to look at each case to see what they actually did compared to what the government lied and said they did. There's a big difference.
Okay, hang on, please. I'm going to bring in Lindy Lee.
Is it on your beeper?
Hang on a second.
Is it on your beeper you're going to say?
Hang on.
Read your beeper again.
Hang on. I'm going to bring in Lindy Lee. I'm bringing in Lindy Lee, a member of the DNC Finance Committee, who's been highly critical of the Harris campaign. Lindy, good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, where are the Democrats, Lindy? I mean, after the Joe Biden pardon, this is probably the last thing Democrats would have wanted on God's earth.
I'm going to have to agree with you. This is 11 years. The pardon covered 11 years. It was sprawling. And I think, the next one we should watch for is possibly him pardoning James Biden. Because 11 years not only covered, his presidency, but also his VP time and also Hunter's time during Burisma. And it's just so incredibly ironic. And I'm speaking as a Democrat.
But very few actually learn how.
It's simple.
Democrats and members of the intelligence community said that laptop was just a made-up story. Now, in one fell swoop, Biden basically proved his haters right, that there was something in that laptop. And I hate to say it, but it's just true. This is just a black eye to his legacy.
And by the way, on the laptop, let's not forget the New York Post had the laptop scoop, and liberal controlled big tech at the time, including Twitter, Facebook, and others, they suppressed that story from being published. In fact, hang on. In fact, the New York Post, because I write columns for the New York Post, for 2 weeks before that election, their whole Twitter account was suspended because they refused to take down a legitimate, true story, as it turned out. That is an appalling attack on free speech, an abuse of the First Amendment, and